Hi, everybody. I'm Tina Garrison,
And I'm Ben Garrison.
and welcome to Cartoon Commentary, Episode 15. Well, things are getting real, folks, as you can tell by the news cycle. And it's about 30 days to November 5th, which is going to be either Trump wins and America is saved, or America is finished if Kamala and her communist minions win. So we're going to start going full throttle now for the next 30 days. So expect the unexpected. And since we're expecting the unexpected, we're going to start off with one of my cartoons, which is Kamala thinking the border is secure. And we all know that's not right.
She said that.
She actually said that, and so did, what was it, Mayorkas?
Yeah.
Said the border's secure. This is when the news broke that all these criminals and rapists and thugs were coming across the border, and it was thousands of them. And I think it was like over 600,000 are criminals. And the way I look at it, if you cross the border and you're breaking the law by crossing the border illegally, you're a criminal too. You're breaking the law. So we have millions of criminals, and they're spreading through our country, and every state is a border state now.
Biden will say that's a good thing because he wants the white people to be a minority. He says that's a good thing. Now, as president, he should treat all races equally, and they're all Americans. They should all get equal treatment. But it's the anti-white. And we're seeing that in the rural areas of Appalachia where Biden won't help them. And he says they're happy. I mean, we're in a bad situation.
Yes, we are. And everyone needs to do their part. And we have to win in November. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And speaking of butts, our next
You're not talking about me.
No, we're talking about Kamala and how she has the IQ of a butt.
She's a butthead.
So this is the Ben's cartoon. Take it away, Ben.
I had this idea of AI, artificial intelligence, and I just did something really simple. It gave me a chance to practice my Kamala caricature. And she seems to be has thin hair on the top.
I noticed you added gums, more gummy.
I kind of gave her some more gums there. And of course, Trump is easy to draw. I can draw him at any.
You've been drawing him for years and years.
So it's a simple cartoon.
Yeah, and
she's artificial. She's
a phony.
Yeah, she's just another puppet stooge like Biden, set up by the deep state oligarchs. And so she represents the deep state blob, whereas Trump, we know he represents making America great again.
And she is running a campaign about nothing because she has nothing to offer.
Yeah, she's a Seinfeld candidate.
Yeah, and she doesn't, when you ask her about her policy, she never has a decent answer. So her campaign is about nothing, and she'll offer
joy.
Nothing.
It's about joy.
Yeah, what the hell does that mean? Yeah. Joy. There's not much joy in North Carolina.
Go tell the homeless, and go on the streets and tell the homeless, are they happy with her joyous campaign? Go tell the people in Appalachia that it's about joy. I mean, come on.
Yeah, just another stupid slogan like hope.
They have nothing else.
That's all they got.
Joy and abortion.
Joy and Trump hate. Yeah. Everything's about Trump. So moving on, we're going to go to the Middle East here with Ben's cartoon.
Yeah, well, I had this idea, live by the bomb, die by the bomb. And so I have Hezbollah, for years, Hezbollah is an Iranian proxy, and Iran uses them to, constantly harass and bomb Israel. And so now they got it back in full measure. Israel decapitated the leadership. But it's a pretty sad situation over there, and I don't want to see American troops and American National Guard going over there when they should be here protecting our country.
And helping people impacted by Hurricane Helene, too. All the National Guard needs to be here helping out because FEMA sure is doing a bad job.
Ron Paul once said that Israel can take care of itself, and as an independent country, and not without intelligent people and not without a lot of money, I mean, they should be able to take care of themselves, and they have, as evidenced by how they took out the Hezbollah leadership.
Wasn't Biden telling them to cease fire, and they just sort of ignored Biden and went ahead and took them out?
Iran needs to just say, hey, well, they're going to have to acknowledge that Israel's there. I mean, they don't even have to say they have a right to exist, but they have to stop funding all the Israel's combatants and just accept it like Saudi Arabia has. Saudi Arabia says we're staying out of this. You know, they're just going to have to accept it. And a lot of Palestinians will never accept it. They're all going to be fighting Israel but they're not doing themselves any good by doing that. This river to the sea mentality is not going to get them anywhere. Sure, Israel decided to become a country and declared themselves a country, and the Palestinians are rightfully offended by that. But it's like the Indians saying, "Give us all our land back." That's not going to happen. It's always been battles, especially in the Middle East. Before the Palestinians, there were Babylonians and Assyrians, and just on and on. Romans.
Yeah.
Italy can say they got a rightful title to that land because Romans conquered it at one point. Why don't the Italians come over and say it's our land? So they've been fighting over this land for endless centuries. It's not going to end. I just don't want America involved, and I don't want to have to see America funding all these foreign wars when they should be funding people at home, such as the people who suffering from the hurricane.
And speaking about funding wars, the next cartoon is pretty sad when Biden's giving money, billions, to Zelensky, and our hurricane victims across Appalachia get $750.
Well, they said they had no more money left. FEMA ran out of money because FEMA spent all their money on the illegals, housing them in fancy hotels, I guess. But in this case, I drew this because the U.S. just gave Zelensky another $6 billion. I think it's $175 billion total that they've sent to.
I think it's more like close to $200 billion. Yeah.
Well, and they don't have anything for the hurricane. It's disgusting. And then I heard on the news today that Biden, when asked about this, said, "Oh no, everything's going fine, and the victims are happy. The victims of the hurricane are happy." Why would he say that? This man is not qualified to.
He's not there. He's just like this husk of a person going through the motions, waiting it out until the election when he thinks Kamala wins. So he's just sort of just a prop.
Yeah. But he has a knee-jerk tendency to just, when in doubt about anything, just lie. Just lie and stonewall.
That's his default. That's what Democrats do. They lie. Yeah. That's all they do is lie. So the sooner you realize that, the farther ahead you're going to be.
Speaking of lying, here's a
new cartoon
Waltz
for the
lying
debate.
On the canvas.
Waltz
actually sitting on the canvas.
Sitting on the canvas. Who watched the debate, the presidential VP debate on, I think it was CBS with those horrible women moderators? Oh man, it was like two angry Karens that kept attacking Vance.
I could have put them in there too, but then it would look like he's beating up on women, so I didn't do it.
No, it was 3 against 1 again. It was the two moderators, and Waltz and JD was debating all 3 of them. So it was a pretty amazing, crazy debate. It was fun.
Waltz was embarrassing. I mean, he just wasn't in the same league as
all he could do.
JD Vance is brilliant. I mean, this
is.
man is very smart, and he's a polished orator. I mean, he's a better debater even than Pence was. They always bragged about how good of a debater Pence was, but JD Vance is better.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, all Waltz could do was grip the podium and stare at the camera like a deer in the headlights with his bug eyes.
And then he calls himself a knucklehead, and
he said he's friends with school shooters. It just was this.
It's a disaster. That's why I have Kamala. And people didn't notice this probably, but I put that gold chain on her, that big $72,000 gold chain
from Tiffany's and Co. But anyways, what the funny thing about the debate too was how this Waltz guy, he just looked totally unprepared and out of his league.
He's not ready for the
ready
big
for prime
stage. No.
Time.
He's not.
He's out of here. And didn't Kamala say that, I was sleep deprived when I pick Waltz, because she got talked out of Shapiro and she went with Waltz. Good for her.
Or she's under the influence.
I don't know. Maybe she was drinking a little extra heavy that day and picked Waltz. But Americans can relate to him. He's a coach. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he puts tampon dispensing machines in the boys' locker room.
He went to China 30 times.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a disaster for the Democrats.
It was such a disaster. And I really like Ben put little tampons swirling around his head as he's...
Well, I got Trump applauding back there. It didn't... I had to sort of jam it in, though. So he looks a little funny. I kind of made Trump look a little too sinister or something.
But anyways, that was a really
good one. But I did this really fast. This is drawn right after the debate, so, I get some leeway here.
Yeah, and that cartoon went viral, so thanks to everybody who shared it. And if you haven't shared it, please share it. And now, hey, my cartoon's up. So this is another VP
this is
debate, day after the debate, and I noticed that women voters really warmed up. They painted Vance as some kind of weird guy that has sex with his sofa, and he's strange, and he's a hillbilly, and he calls people cat ladies.
The sofa thing was a lie invented by the Democrats.
Of course, everything's a lie invented by
them. Waltz instantly started repeating it, just like they repeat the thing with the prostitutes in Russia and the
2025 Project 2025 and all that.
Climate change, that's a bunk.
But anyways, women voters did see the Vance up, and he came off as real emphatic, and he came up as a really generally nice person.
Well, this is how Tina and I operate. I had my sketchbook out, and we were talking about Vance and those big blue eyes, and I said, well, I started drawing him as a big puppy with those giant blue eyes, and I showed it to Tina, and that gave her the idea to do this cartoon. So we bounce stuff off, and it has and a lot of times it
teamwork.
It's teamwork. But Tina thought about the pets, putting them in the pet store and adding Waltz in there. And
he's a Waltz-a-doodle.
Yeah, so it was funny.
I had somebody write me and write us on Twitter or X, and they said, boy, how did you capture Waltz's expression perfectly? So people really thought that Waltz-a-doodle looked just like him.
Well, Tina, you draw really good. She draws better animals than I do generally. I mean, I can draw them, but this is right. I told Tina, this is something that you got to draw. She came up with the idea, and I said, well, I'm not drawing it. Sketch it out, Da Vinci. That's what I said.
Okay, and then our final cartoon for the week is called The Latest Big Blow. It's the Harris-Biden administration giving nothing. You get nothing, sir.
And actually, this is your idea. You said, why don't you draw them as the storm? And so it's a double whammy.
So we were putting our big brains together.
Yeah, and I said, I don't want to draw that. No, I don't want to draw it. No. All right, I'll think about it. All right, I'll draw it. So I drew it. But this is Tina's idea. But I thought of the the people on the Hill complaining about who will save us from big government, because the big government can be just as destructive as a hurricane. If you think about it, I mean, they're throwing people in gulags, and they're locking people up, and they're forcing dangerous inoculations on people that killed millions. This government we have right now is pretty dangerous.
It's
Just as
because
bad as a hurricane.
it's a Marxist government.
Yeah, and now they're not allowing private citizens to go rescue and help out the victims up in the Appalachians, and there you go.
They're giving illegals,
yeah, they're
$5,000 Visa
they're bringing
cards,
in all these criminals to
giving
kill
them
and
all
rape
the
people.
money, and then people,
Thanks a lot, government.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Hurricane Helene.
Yeah, but the FEMA is that's the big story of today right now, is how FEMA is just blocking people from going out there. Supposedly they won't even pick up the bodies, and
they won't close the border. Listen, government is becoming the enemy. They're making themselves enemy of the American people.
They are.
And they wonder why we're mad. And we're not allowed to get angry about that? Well, I'm angry.
You're not allowed to get angry. You're not allowed to say anything.
We should be angry at the government. Listen, the government is not the country. I love the country. I despise the government.
Our government has
enough.
and that's enough. That's enough for today.
That's enough. That's enough ranting for one day.
You've had your fill of ranting. So we want to thank you for supporting us, and we hope you enjoyed this video. And check out the video description. We always have links under there for, we have got the latest Big Blow as a poster. It's on sale right now at a low price, actually just marked down. So if you would like a limited edition signed print, we have the prints underneath the description. And another thing is, try and follow us on X. If you've got an X Twitter account, and we got the phone ringing, go ahead and follow us on Twitter, X, Truth Social, and it's always at Graphics. So once again, thank you, and we'll see you next time. I'm Tina Garrison.
And I'm Ben.
And we'll see you on the rebound. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Tina, and I want to thank you for watching our videos here on Rumble, and also for your support of me and Ben. And I want to remind you to make sure you subscribe, like, and follow our channel here. And also go to gurgraphics.com and sign up for our newsletter. That way you won't miss any future videos and you won't miss any cartoons. Heavens, you don't want to do that. So look at the description of the video. You'll find links. We also have a fundraiser on givesendgo for Ben to help him out. And we also have a link to our store. So remember, keep the faith. Enjoy the show and stay strong, because you know what? We're going to win in the end. Never forget that, and never surrender. Thank you, and see you next week for a brand new episode of Cartoon Commentary.